Hello and welcome to this edition of News Today. Without delay, let's have a look at the headlines first. India's social security coverage jumps to 64.3%, ranks second globally according to ILO. Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana completes 9 years. ICG intensifies operations to control burning cargo ship off Kerala coast. India reduced basic custom duty on major imported crude edible oils from 20% to 10%. UGC issues show cause notice for non-compliance with Anti-Ragging Regulations. Review of the State of World Marine Fishery Resources 2025 released by FAO. In the first news of the day, India has made significant strides in expanding its social security coverage. According to the latest data from the International Labour Organization's ILO STAT, India's social security coverage has surged from just 19% in 2015 to an impressive 64.3% in 2025, covering over 94 crore people. This 45 percentage point jump places India at the second rank globally in terms of social protection coverage. But what exactly is social security or protection? It refers to the protection that a society provides to individuals and households to ensure access to healthcare and income security, especially in cases of old age, unemployment, sickness, invalidity, or maternity. The three core pillars of social protection include social assistance, social insurance, and labor market programs aimed at fostering self-reliance and independence. India has launched several initiatives to boost social protection. The Pradhan Mantri Shram Yogi Mandhan Yojana or PMSYM offers old age protection for workers aged 18 to 40 with equal monthly contributions from the beneficiary and the central government. The Pradhan Mantri Jeevan Jyoti Bima Yojana or PMJJBY covers individuals aged 18 to 50 with 2 lakh rupees insurance on death from any cause. The Atal Pension Yojana offers a fixed pension between 1,000 rupees to 5,000 rupees for workers in the 18 to 40 age group. Additionally, schemes like Pradhan Mantri Suraksha Bima Yojana or PMSBY for individuals aged 18 to 70, Public Distribution System, Ayushman Bharat and Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen further contribute to the strengthening of India's social security net. In the next news, 9 years of the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana or PMUY are being marked, a flagship welfare initiative aimed at ensuring clean cooking energy for households across India. Launched in 2016 under the Union Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, the scheme's core objective is to provide liquefied petroleum gas or LPG connections to rural and deprived households that traditionally relied on polluting fuels like firewood, coal, and cow dung cakes. The original target was to provide 8 crore LPG connections by 2020, which was successfully achieved. Building on this success, the government launched Ujjwala 2.0 with an additional target of 1.6 crore connections by December 2022, with a special focus on migrant families. Eligibility under the scheme is reserved for adult women, 18 years and above, from categories such as SC, ST, Antyodaya Anna Yojana or AAY households, Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana Grameen beneficiaries, most backward classes, forest dwellers and people residing in islands and river islands, among others, listed in the SECC data. As of March 2025, the scheme has reached a major milestone with 10.33 crore LPG connections distributed across the country. Furthermore, the number of LPG distributors has increased by 83%, from 13,896 in 2014 to 25,481 in 2024, ensuring better last-mile delivery of clean energy to even the most remote regions. Moving on, the Indian Coast Guard has intensified operations to control a cargo ship that caught fire off the coast of Kerala. The vessel drifted within India's Exclusive Economic Zone or EEZ, prompting immediate rescue and towing operations. The Coast Guard is actively engaged in rescuing crew members and ensuring the situation is brought under control. Notably, this comes after a container ship sank off the same coast last month, with hazardous cargo washing ashore, raising serious concerns about maritime disasters and safety. Disasters associated with maritime shipping can arise from various risks, The sea poses both predictable hazards like storms and frost and unpredictable threats such as tsunamis, underwater wreckage, or mines. The risks are significantly higher in narrow straits, channels, and key sea routes like the Panama or Suez canals, where traffic is dense and waters shallow. The condition of the ships also plays a role, with growing numbers of high tonnage ferries, aging fleets, and outdated technologies contributing to the problem. New forms of risks have also emerged in recent decades. These include the transportation of hazardous chemicals, dangerous cargo, nuclear waste, submarines, and weapons. Additionally, other contributing factors are human error, armed conflicts, maritime piracy, and terrorism, all of which heighten the threat level in maritime operations. The consequences of such maritime disasters are far reaching. Environmental impacts include severe marine pollution from oil spills, loss of biodiversity, and contamination due to ballast water discharge. On the health front, toxic exposure from chemicals or oil can lead to long-term issues for cleanup workers and residents of affected coastal regions. The economic fallout includes massive costs for beach cleanup, damage to coastal livelihoods, decreased tourism, and overall devaluation of coastal zones. Several international conventions are in place to mitigate and manage such maritime disasters. The Bunker Convention 2001 holds ship owners liable for bunker oil pollution and ensures compensation for affected victims, with a mandate for compulsory insurance. The Wreck Removal Convention 2007 provides a legal framework for countries to remove shipwrecks that may pose safety hazards. The HNS Convention 1996 addresses compensation for damage, cleanup cost, and restoration efforts related to hazardous and noxious substances. The Marpol Convention 1973 focuses specifically on preventing marine pollution from ships, with emphasis on oil pollution control. Among these, India is a signatory only to the Marpol Convention, reinforcing its commitment to marine environmental protection but highlighting the need for broader international engagement to strengthen maritime safety frameworks.
In a significant development aimed at controlling soaring edible oil prices and bolstering domestic refining, India has slashed the basic customs duty on major imported crude edible oils from 20 to 10%. This move is expected to ease pressure on consumers and simultaneously support the domestic edible oil refining industry. Now, let's take a closer look at the edible oil scenario in the country. Edible oils, primarily vegetable oils, undergo several processes to remove undesirable constituents. These include refining steps such as neutralization, bleaching, and deodorization to make them suitable for human consumption. India is home to 9 major edible oil crops: groundnut, rapeseed mustard, soybean, sunflower, sesame, safflower, Niger seed, castor, and linseed. Despite being a significant cultivator, accounting for approximately 15 to 20% of the global oilseed area, India produces only 6 to 7% of the world's vegetable oil, while consuming nearly 9 to 10%. As a result, the country remains heavily reliant on imports and is in fact the world's largest importer of vegetable oils, ahead of even China and the United States. Among the imported edible oils, palm oil dominates with a 57% share, followed by soybean oil at 29% and sunflower oil at 14%. On the domestic front, soybean contributes the most to oilseed production with 34%, followed by rapeseed and mustard at 31% and groundnut at 27%. These three alone make up over 92% of India's total oilseed output. To reduce import dependence, the government has been actively promoting domestic production through key initiatives. The National Mission on Edible Oils, Oil Palm, launched in 2021, focuses on achieving self-reliance by enhancing oilseed production. Meanwhile, the National Food Security Mission, Oil Seeds and Oil Palm, rolled out in 2018-19, aims at increasing the production and productivity of the 9 key oilseed crops and expanding the area under oil palm and free-borne oil seeds. In a strong move to uphold student safety and campus discipline, the University Grants Commission has issued show-cause notices to several higher education institutions for non-compliance with its Anti-Ragging Regulations of 2009. These institutions have been directed to submit their compliance reports within 30 days. Ragging, by definition, includes any disorderly conduct, whether spoken, written, or by an act, that has the effect of teasing, treating, or handling with rudeness a fresher or a junior student. The UGC's Anti-Ragging Regulations of 2009 lay down stringent guidelines for institutions to follow. Even before admissions, institutions are required to include anti-ragging warnings in all their promotional and admission materials. They must also collect signed undertakings from students and their parents, declaring that they will not indulge in or tolerate ragging. Upon admission, fresh students must receive comprehensive information leaflets about their rights and participate in joint sensitization programs with seniors. Furthermore, every institution is required to establish 3 key bodies: an anti-ragging committee to oversee overall implementation, an anti-ragging squad to maintain vigil on campus, and a monitoring cell to track progress and compliance. Failure to comply can lead to a range of punishments, from suspension and expulsion to heavy fines. Beyond institutional efforts, India has also adopted a wider framework to tackle ragging. The Ministry of Education has constituted Anti-Ragging Monitoring Committee to prevent ragging in higher education institutions, and a national anti-ragging helpline through which support is provided for queries related to ragging, complaint registration, among others. Much of this framework is built upon the recommendations of the Raghavan Committee of 2007, which suggested making ragging a criminal offense and holding faculty and staff collectively responsible for prevention and redressal. The Supreme Court's landmark judgment in 2009 further strengthened this mechanism by directing the establishment of toll-free anti-ragging helplines or call centers, and engaging an independent non-government agency as the monitoring agency. This latest action by the UGC reaffirms its commitment to maintaining safe, supportive, and inclusive academic environments across the country. In a concerning revelation for global marine sustainability, the Food and Agriculture Organization has released the 2025 edition of its State of World Marine Fishery Resources report. The findings shed light on the growing pressures on ocean ecosystems, particularly deep-sea species that are uniquely vulnerable to exploitation. The report highlights unique sustainability challenges faced by deep-sea species due to late maturation, slow growth, long lifespans, low mortality rates, and infrequent spawning. It also highlights the threat of overfishing as well as illegal, unreported, and unregulated or IUU fishing as major concerns. Among the key findings, only 29% of deep-sea fish stocks are being sustainably fished, making them highly vulnerable. Globally, 64.5% of all fishery stocks are exploited within sustainable levels, while 35.5% are overfished. Over half of highly migratory shark stocks are considered unsustainable, with 43.5% of 23 assessed shark stocks being overfished. The WTO Agreement on Fishery Subsidies creates 3 key prohibitions. It bans subsidies for vessels or operators involved in IUU fishing, prohibits subsidies for fishing overfished stocks unless measures are in place to rebuild them to sustainable levels, and forbid subsidies for fishing activities outside coastal state jurisdiction and beyond regional fisheries management organization oversight. But what is IUU fishing? It's a broad term that captures a wide variety of fishing activity, occurring both on the high seas and in areas within national jurisdiction. Illegal fishing refers to activity conducted without permission in state waters or in violation of national laws. Unreported fishing includes catches that are not reported or are misreported to national authorities, violating national regulations. Unregulated fishing is conducted by stateless vessels or non-party states in regional organization areas, violating conservation measures.
As we conclude today's main news, let's have a look at some quick updates. The full bench of Lokpal of India has adopted a new motto: Empower citizens, expose corruption. As per the legal provision, the Lokpal functions under the Lokpal and Lokayukts Act 2013, which empowers it to investigate allegations of corruption against public functionaries. An Indian employee at the French embassy in New Delhi scammed hundreds of people by promising them Schengen visas. The Schengen area is composed of 29 countries, 25 EU member states, and 4 non-EU countries. An Indian Army contingent has reached Ulaanbaatar, Mongolia for the 22nd multinational military exercise Conquest, which is scheduled to be conducted from 14th to 28th June 2025. The genesis of exercise Conquest lies in a bilateral initiative between the United States and Mongolia, launched in 2003. The Ministry of Finance clarified that there is no plan to impose MDR on UPI payments. Merchant Discount Rate or MDR is a fee that banks charge merchants for processing payments in real time. India, in its capacity as the Vice President of IALA, actively participated in the second session of the IALA Council held in Nice, France. IALA was established in 1957 as the International Association of Marine Aids to Navigation and Lighthouse Authorities. India has voiced deep reservations about the European Union's Carbon Border Adjustment Mechanism or CBAM, which is the EU's tool to put a fair price on the carbon emitted during the production of carbon-intensive goods such as steel, aluminium, and cement that are entering the EU and to encourage cleaner industrial production in non-EU countries. A solid waste incinerator installed at Gangotri inside Bhagirathi Eco-Sensitive Zone or BESZ has concerned social activist groups. Eco-sensitive zones are ecologically fragile areas around protected areas and wildlife corridors notified under the Environment Protection Act 1986. Recently, a rare sighting of Eurasian otters has now been reported in South Kashmir. Eurasian otter is a semi-aquatic mammal native to Eurasia and the Maghreb, Africa. French AI startup Mistral launches Europe's first reasoning-based language model. Large language models, or LLM, are AI systems capable of understanding and generating human language by processing vast amounts of text data. A rare major lunar standstill phenomenon was seen recently with the radiant lunar spectacle, the strawberry moon, June's full moon known as the strawberry moon, traditionally named after the strawberry harvest season in North America. Before we sign off, let's challenge your understanding in today's installment of Test Your Learning. Thank you for joining us. We hope you found this episode of News Today engaging. For the solutions to the quiz and to access the PDF version of News Today, remember to visit the provided links in the description.